Hey everybody, hope you guys are doing well. So today I thought I'd tackle something a little bit different, and what we're going to be looking at today, many people, especially the guys getting into PCPs, um, usually there's a discussion that goes around buying an unregulated versus a regulated, and basically what that means is a regulated one controls the air by using an extra valve. So you're always going to get a consistent, well, close to consistent air pressure inside the valve that basically releases your pellet, which in effect means that you get a much more consistent feet per second. And well, this is nice to have and definitely can be an advantage when it comes to accuracy. I personally prefer an unregulated, and when I had my PCP it was also unregulated, and even CO2, even though it is a bit more regulated than air because of the function or how the gas works, it is still unregulated to a large degree. So the next thing that you're going to hear is, because you've got now this unregulated gun, you need to get a chronograph. And yes, the chronograph can help tell you what is your deviations in your feet per second. It will tell you if you're going faster, slower, and all of that is nice to know. However, it doesn't really relate to being more accurate. So today I'm going to show you what I do and how I basically, they call it print paper. So how does my gun print on paper? Because it's unregulated, and let's see if this relates to more accuracy. So in a nutshell, what we're going to do, we're going to shoot 3 magazines, 3 targets with this unregulated gun. Then we're going to see what it looks like on the target. Then we're going to take that information and we're going to use it and shoot another 3 magazines. And then I'm going to show you how that relates and how you can keep your groupings very tight just by using this simple technique. You do not need a chronograph, and it works with all unregulated rifles. So with a regulated rifle, it would not be as necessary because the regulator kind of keeps your feet per second a bit more closer, which should relate to more accuracy in theory. However, the one disadvantage of having a regulator is usually when something goes wrong, it's either going to be a leak or your regulator is going to get stuck. And the last thing you want is when you're out in the field, your regulator, or in the middle of a competition, your regulator gets stuck, and that's the end of your competition. So for me personally, I'd rather stick to an unregulated rifle. Alright, so got my new CO2 in here. I'm just going to fire off 3 shots just to get that initial gas out. Alright, good. So just to try and make things as consistent as possible, I'm going to be using the magazine. I'm going to use these 2. I've only got 2 magazines unfortunately, so I'll use these 2, fill one up again, and then shoot 3 groups. I'm going to start top left, then I'm going to go right, and then I'm going to go bottom left, and let's see how it goes. Then we're going to bring the target. I'm going to explain to you exactly what I'm going to do, and then we're going to see if we can actually get those groups even tighter. So let's get cracking. And obviously a large portion of this is dependent on me actually shooting properly, so let's hope today is a good day. I'm shooting exactly for the middle of those pink dots. Those pink dots are 12 millimeters in diameter, so fairly small target. So far so good. Those 3 pellets all went through the same hole. Okay, that one a little bit high and right, a little bit higher, not much. Okay, I think that's the last one on this magazine. One more, sorry. Alright, so that first group actually doesn't look too bad at all, but you're going to start to see what I mean by how the rifle prints, because it's an unregulated rifle. So let's remove this first. So remember, that was the first magazine. We just want to fill it up. Just allow the gun to just warm up a little bit. It's actually starting to become summer now here by us, so temperature is definitely improving, and looking forward to being able to be outside a bit more, because it is really not very pleasant in the winter here compared to where I used to live. So, but it's one of those things. The other thing that we're not really taking into consideration with this test is you will still get the odd flyer out of a batch of pellets. These are not sorted or anything like that, so you will still get a flyer here and there, but yeah, we're going to ignore that for now. Alright, so now we're going to shoot right hand side dot, top right. Again, I'm holding exactly in the middle of that dot. Still looks pretty good there. Right, so now I see it's last one just dropped off a little bit. Still dropping off a little bit. I'm still using the exact same aim point. That one dropped off quite considerably. And that one even more. Alright, so there you see, second magazine done. So I'll move across to the third one. And what would happen now most times is you'd start to adjust your scope, obviously, but I'm going to show you how we overcome that going forward. Alright, so let's shoot that last group now, and we're going to be shooting bottom left. still holding exactly on the middle of the dot. Oh, that dropped off very bad. Give it a little bit of time in between shots. Alright, so I'm going to go fetch the target, we can discuss it, and then we're going to shoot another 3, and then let's see what happens. Alright, so let's analyze. So the first magazine, first 7 shots, all very nice, very tight group. So going forward, what we can do, that one we're going to hold exactly as we held. For that 0, we're going to keep it dead on center. Nothing's going to change. For the second group, we can see the group started to go down a little bit. And we even got 2 shots that's quite a bit lower. So what we're going to do for the second group, on the next page, we're going to have a 1/2 mil dot hold over. Okay, so just a 1/2 mil dot, and the first maybe 2 shots, I'll maybe just hold it dead on. Thereafter, it's going to be 1/2 mil dot hold over. Or what we can do, instead of just taking 3 shots in the beginning, we can maybe take 4, and that should even it out a little bit. Alright, yeah, I think let's do that, because then that's going to also help us to get rid of this 1 shot here on the third group. So let's have a look at the third group, what happened here. The first shot was still pretty close, nice and up, and then we had 1 shot down here, 1 shot up here, another one down here, and then the rest of them went in here. I think these 2 I might have shot a little bit too quick, so the CO2 was maybe a little bit cold. So I'll just need to keep that in mind when I shoot the next 3 groups. So what we're going to do here, I measured this is about 20 millimeters below the center of the target, the majority of this group. So what we're going to do, on the next side, we're going to have 1 mil dot hold over on this third target. Alright, so just to try and simplify it, this is what we're going to try to achieve now, and we're going to see if this helps us to shoot tighter groups. So the first one, we're going to hold dead center just like that. Second one, slightly above, so 1/2 mil dot hold over. And for the third one, we're going to take a complete mil dot hold over. And let's try it out. Let's see if it really works and if we get tighter groups. Let's see how it goes. Alright, so just to make this whole test as fair as possible, I'm going to put in a new CO2, just like we did previously. Right. So got a new CO2 in. So we said we're going to take 4 shots this time. Alright, let's quickly fill up these magazines. So one thing that is a little bit different on a CO2 gun, which is not such a big issue on the PCPs, is temperature and the speed at which you shoot. So with the CO2, if you shoot too fast, it will also affect the performance and the FPS that the rifle is delivering, whereas with the PCP not so much the case. It is also affected by temperature, not as much as a CO2 rifle, but is also affected by temperature. Alright, so now I just got to try and remember what we said. So we said the first magazine we're going to just hold dead on. Second magazine we're going to take around about 1/2 mil holdover, and then for the third magazine we're going to take 1 mil holdover. So let's get started. We'll start again top left. Like I said, I still need to shoot properly, so let's hope it works. And with the CO2, we always want to give at least 10 seconds in between shots. Sometimes with the magazine, you tend to be a bit too fast, so I need to remind myself sometimes just to slow down a little bit. Ooh, that one went horribly wrong. Alright, so I think it's safe to say that one was a flyer. Okay, so let's fill this up again, and then we're going to move across to shucks. Sorry guys, missed one. Take the last one for that first group. All right. So let's load this one up. Definitely that group is not the greatest group. Have shot better in my life, but it's definitely under 10 millimeters, and this is 18 meters that we're shooting at, so more than happy with that, more than sufficient. So this one billet is definitely a bit of a wonky one, and yeah, I haven't sorted any of these pellets, so we will get the odd flyer. Alright, so now we're going to go top right, and remember, as I said, we're going to take a half a mil dot holdover. I did make a little mark there. I'm going to be aiming directly at that mark. Like the plan's coming together. Okay, 2 more left in this group. Alright, super chuffed with that. Definitely cannot complain. Alright, so now I'm going to move across to the third group. Remember with this one we said that we have to take a whole mil dot holdover. However, we need to bear in mind that first shot of the third group was still quite high. So I'm going to take a chance and start off by holding with that 1 mil dot holdover. See if we got rid of it in the beginning, but if history teaches us anything, that mil dot should be where we want to be. Let's see if we can get a nice tight group out of this third magazine. Yeah. And the first one reads straight on. Okay. Hey, sit still. Alright, so those first two didn't work. Let's carry on with the mil dot holdover. Honey. Alright, so that third group looks like we overcompensated a little bit, so we're still a little bit high, but I'm going to carry on shooting with that 1 mil dot holdover. Alright, so there you have it. Go fetch the target, let's have a look at it, let's analyze what we could have improved, but definitely this is the easiest way for you to be able to handle or manage an unregulated rifle that little bit better, to improve your groups. If you're shooting competition, if you're hunting, either way, you'll want to do this beforehand, so that when you get to the competition or when you get to shooting your target, that you can be that little bit more accurate and that you won't run into this issue. And the easiest way to do it, use the magazines, number them if you have to, and this will definitely help you to improve. Let's go fetch that target. Okay, so let's see, what did we learn? Well, the first one, definitely as we thought, hold dead on. Nice little group there, nothing wrong with that. We had one flyer, most probably a pellet that was a bit bent, or maybe just one that was a different size. Second group definitely worked according to plan. So here was our aiming point. It was a 1/2 mil dot holdover, and we can see we were dead on target from the first pellet. First one was maybe a touch, very small bit high, but after that all of them very nicely in a tight group. And then the last one, I think I may have just overcompensated a little bit for this one, because we had such a high variety here. I think I misread it a little bit. So if we look at this last one, we probably could have stuck to the 1/2 mil dot holdover, because here's where our aim point was, and we were just about 1/2 mil dot holdover. Would have been absolutely perfect, and that would have put us in the ballpark around about there. So definitely you can see how this method works. You can see why it's valuable. Yes, to have a chronograph and to know your feet per second can help you. It tells you that your speed is varied and is not consistent, but it's not showing you what is happening on the target. Whereas when you print paper, definitely you're going to see clearly what is happening on the target. So till next time, guys, happy shooting, keep safe, see you around. Hope you learned something from this, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Cheers.